Losing someone you love can be overwhelming, and the practical decisions that follow can make it feel even harder to cope. Direct cremation can offer a simpler, more flexible way to say goodbye while still feeling respectful and dignified. In this guide, we explain what it is, how it works, and whether it may be the right choice for you or your family. Let's start with the basics. A direct cremation, also called a simple cremation or an unattended cremation, is a low-cost alternative to a traditional funeral. There is normally no formal service and no mourners present on the day. It has grown significantly in popularity in recent years. According to the SunLife Cost of Dying Report 2026, direct cremations now make up 21% of all funerals in the UK. People sometimes assume that because direct cremation is simpler, it somehow involves fewer steps or less care. In fact, that's not the case. A direct cremation still covers all the essential services needed for a respectful and lawful farewell. Here's what's typically included. First, collection and transportation. The funeral provider will collect the person who has died and bring them into their care at a mortuary facility before transporting them to the crematorium on the day in a private ambulance. One common myth worth busting: embalming is not required by law in the UK and is not part of a standard direct cremation. The focus is on the essentials, no additional elements. Second, the coffin. A simple coffin, usually a wood effect design, is included as standard. Third, all the paperwork. A death needs to be verified by a doctor or coroner, and several legal forms must be completed before a cremation can go ahead. Your provider will guide you through all of this. Fourth, the cremation itself carried out with care and dignity by trained professional staff. And finally, the return of ashes. These are typically hand-delivered to the family, with aura within 21 working days, and the family can then choose how and when to hold their own memorial or celebration of life. Alternatively, they can be scattered in the crematorium's garden of remembrance if preferred. Many families have the question, is direct cremation a good idea? The answer depends on your circumstances and your values. Direct cremation is not the right choice for everyone, but for many people and families, it offers the right balance of flexibility, affordability, and personalization. We'll now outline some reasons why one might choose a direct cremation. Cost. Traditional funerals in the UK can be expensive. The SunLife Cost of Dying Report 2026 has reported a 146% increase in the price of traditional attended funerals since their first report 22 years ago. A direct cremation can cost significantly less in many cases. Flexibility. Because there's no immediate service to plan, families have time to grieve and can later arrange a memorial in a way that truly reflects the person they've lost, whether that's a gathering at a favorite place, a celebration of life, or a reflective woodland walk. Simplicity. Organizing a large funeral at short notice can be stressful. Direct cremation removes many of those logistics, allowing families to focus on each other rather than on planning. Personal choice. With the decline of formal religious observance in the UK, many people simply don't feel a traditional funeral ceremony fits who they are. Direct cremation gives them the freedom to mark their passing in a way that does. There are some additional points to consider. For some people, the ritual of a traditional funeral service provides important closure. If that's true for you or your family, it's worth exploring whether a simple attended service might be the right middle ground. Some family members may find the absence of a ceremony difficult to understand, particularly if it's a new concept to them. Open conversations in advance can help, and it's important to note that while the standard direct cremation is unattended, some providers, including Aura, offer the option for family members to be present at the crematorium. Even with an unattended cremation, families can still personalize the experience. Music chosen by the family can be played as the person enters the crematorium. Flowers or sentimental items can sometimes be placed with their loved one. And of course, a separate celebration of life or memorial can always be held later at a time and place of the family's choosing. So while direct cremation is designed to be private and simple, it doesn't have to feel impersonal. Overall, it is a thoughtful, dignified choice, not a lesser one. It simply prioritizes what matters most to the individual and their family. Cost is often one of the first things people want to understand, and direct cremation can offer significant savings compared to a traditional funeral. With Aura, an unattended direct cremation starts at £1,195 as of April 2026. That compares to a national average of £4,510 for a traditional attended funeral, according to SunLife's Cost of Dying Report 2026. If you'd like an attended service at the crematorium, prices are naturally higher, starting from £2,095 for a shorter, intimate gathering. It's important, though, not to compare prices at face value alone. What's included in the base price can vary considerably between providers. Some will include cremation fees, collection and return of ashes, all in the headline figure. Others may list these separately, which can affect the total cost. Things to ask any provider include: are cremation fees included? Is urgent collection covered? Is the return of ashes included? Are there any additional charges that may apply? Getting a clear, itemized quote will help you compare fairly and avoid surprises. With more providers entering the market in recent years, it can feel difficult to know who to trust. Here are some key things to look for when comparing your options. Transparency. A reputable provider should be upfront about what's included in their prices and what isn't. If pricing is vague or hard to find, that's a reason to pause. Ownership and location. Look for clear information about who owns the business and where it operates from. If there's no premises address or it's hard to find, use a mapping tool to investigate further. Experience and reviews. Ask how many direct cremations the provider has carried out and how long they have been in business. Check independent review platforms for genuine customer feedback. Look at the volume and consistency of reviews, not just the headline score. Being kept informed. A good provider will tell you the date and location of the cremation if you want that information. Most families do want to know. You should also have a named point of contact throughout the process. Regulation. Check that the provider is a member of a recognized industry body and, for prepaid plans, that they are regulated by the Financial Conduct Authority. Beyond price, what matters most is care, professionalism, and trust. A lower price should never mean lower standards of dignity and respect. Comparing providers is about more than a checklist. It's also about how you feel when you contact them. When you first reach out to a provider, pay attention to how they treat you. Are they patient and compassionate? Do they answer your questions clearly without pushing you to make a quick decision? Or do you feel rushed or pressured? A good provider will respect that you need time. They should be willing to answer all your questions, send written information, and leave you to come to a decision at your own pace. Think also about whether you'd like an attended or unattended service, and look for a provider who can accommodate that clearly. Not all providers offer attended options, so if that matters to you, check early. Consider whether they offer a dedicated point of contact, someone who knows your case and can support you and your family throughout the entire process. And finally, think about what happens after the cremation. Does the provider offer any support with planning a later celebration of life or memorial? Can they help with ashes, keepsakes, or connecting you with a celebrant? These things can matter deeply when the time comes. If you need to arrange a direct cremation for someone who has recently died, the process is more straightforward than you might expect. Here's a general overview of how it works. Step 1. Contact a provider. You don't need to rush this. Take some time to compare options, and when you're ready, call your chosen provider. They will guide you through everything from this point. Step 2. The death is verified. A doctor or coroner will need to confirm the cause of death and provide the necessary documentation. Step 3. Bringing your loved one into care. The provider will arrange collection and transport your loved one to their care facility. Step 4. Paperwork. The death will need to be formally registered. Your provider should support you with the legal forms required before a cremation can proceed. Step 5. The cremation. Your loved one will be taken to the crematorium and the cremation will take place. If you've arranged an attended service, guests will arrive after the coffin has been placed in the chapel. Step 6. Return of ashes. Within around 21 working days, the ashes will be returned to you, usually hand-delivered, or scattered at the crematorium's garden of remembrance if that's your preference. Step 7. A memorial. In your own time. There's no pressure to plan anything immediately. When the time feels right, you can arrange a celebration of life, a gathering, or simply a private moment to scatter the ashes somewhere meaningful. Many people wonder if they can pay for a direct cremation in advance. The answer is yes, and many people find that planning ahead is one of the most thoughtful things they can do for the people they leave behind. A prepaid funeral plan allows you to arrange and pay for your direct cremation in advance. This means that when the time comes, your family won't need to make difficult decisions under pressure, and they won't face unexpected costs at an already hard time. By locking in today's prices, you also protect against future price rises. Given that funeral costs in the UK have more than doubled over the past 20 years, this can represent a significant saving. When choosing a prepaid plan, it's important to check that the provider is regulated by the Financial Conduct Authority, and that your money is held in an independently managed trust separate from the company's day-to-day operations. This protects you in the unlikely event that the provider is unable to fulfill your plan. Most prepaid plans offer flexibility. You can usually choose to pay in full or spread the cost over 12 or 24 months. And a good provider will allow you to make changes to your plan or cancel and receive a full refund without penalties. Arranging a plan in advance also means you can make your own choices about your funeral rather than leaving those decisions to others. It's a practical, caring gift to those you love. Whether you're facing a bereavement right now or thinking carefully about your own future plans, we hope this video has given you a clearer picture of what direct cremation involves and whether it might be right for you. If you have more questions or if you'd like to explore your options further, Aura can take you through the process at your own pace with no pressure and no hidden costs.